It's that time again. The Pathoftitans public test branch has had a huge swathe of updates, as well as 2 dinosaurs getting some tender love and care. Those are CERATOSAURUS and METRIACANTHOSAURUS that have got new mesh, new textures, new animations, and look so much better than before. Timestamps for everything are on the screen now. We're going to get right into it and talk about the new changes on the PTB. Then after that, we're going to be showcasing the Metri and the CERATOSAURUS. So if you want to go to that, obviously timestamps are here. Anyways, if you are new, feel free to subscribe. But other than that, let's dive right into it. So since my last video overviewing updates on the PTB, there's been a lot of changes that have been going on. In fact, this is in a whole bunch of different updates, and there's a lot of them. I'm going to go through the big one first, and then I'm going to break down the smaller ones into parts that I like the most of those updates, but I'll have the full update changelog of those smaller ones on the screen when I mention them. Anyways, let's get into the big one first. Now, if you just want to read it, just pause the screen and then you can skip to the next section where I showcase the Cerato and Metri. But other than that, I'm going to read it off anyways for you guys. So, fixed for being unable to move after cancelling leaving a home cave on mobile, fixed single player host setting localization default values, and fixed many of them not working at all. Fix for Kaiwekia having incorrect eating animation on land. Stop eating food if it is dropped. Stop precise movement when opening home cave invite/escape menus. Added new mod download error messages that show details on which mod failed installing. Fixed hatchling Sarco trot animation having a broken leg. Fixed walking in place issue with new locomotion state for Sarco. Fixed issues with command response formatting on consoles causing major lag for some commands. Fixed a Kaiwekia barrel roll cancelling instantly if the ability charging mode is set to hold. Fixed some plants having collision in Herbie tutorial cave, added a warning in the main menu if the player had duplicate keybinds, increased consistency for resting while underwater, allow players to wake by moving on mobile, always show sleep button while sleeping on mobile to prevent player from being locked in a sleeping state. Food items or quest items now have a manager, which makes them more memory optimized, which is great because it also helps out with the lag stuff as well and helps optimize the game further. Fixed marks not being clamped/overflow detection with chat commands, set marks all, and add marks and remove marks. Fixed for rockfall, hill, water, replenish quest not being handed out. Fixed misspelling of an enemy. Minor map bug fixes of Gondwar. Fixed Velocci spring arm location being in too far in front of the model. Fixed up down animations not playing when swimming. Fixed character repeatedly leaving the water bug. Fixed Kaiwekia having incorrect animations for eating on land, which seems to be something that has been changed twice there. Fixed Lambiosaurus animation skip walk bug. Memory optimizations for character skins and other stuff. Miscellaneous animation on movement changes for Sarco and Eotrike. Fix for precise swimming regression, and a whole swathe of new fixes as well in that big update. Now, there are some other smaller fixes that I do want to talk about as well. I'm going to go through my favorites ones here because they are smaller in general. So, animation fixes for Lambio and Eotrike as well. Added quests to Volcano Bay and Bleached Coral's Point of Interest. Dinosaurs can now eat while swimming, which is good. I wonder if they can eat while swimming underwater as well. That'll be an interesting one if that is the case. When teleporting to water, you will be TP'd to the water's surface rather than under it, which is actually good because with Kaiwekia there's a bug where if you teleport them, you can put them under the map and they'll be in a constant loop of dying there, which is quite sad. Additionally, there's also swimming animation changes, updated Metri's locomotion animations, mesh and textures, updates Cerato mesh, subspecies and animations, changed swimming precise movement correction from applying for swimming to falling to only swimming. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But now I've gotten through the worst part of these videos, which is rattling through all the new updates to you guys. I know a lot of you people like to be kept in the loop for that stuff, but obviously it is the most boring part of these videos. So now let's hop in game and have a look at the METRIACANTHOSAURUS and CERATOSAURUS models, which look really, really cool. So let's get into it. Now here we are showcasing the Metriacanthosaurus off. Now we do have some before pics and after pics which were captured by a user called Borga, so a big thank you to him for helping out getting these. But the biggest change, there aren't really many large changes on the model itself. The changes mainly come from the mesh and texture of it. It seems that's been the main focus of the update. However, there are some slight changes on the face, and I hope that the before and after pictures do point that out. One of the biggest is probably near the eyebrow on like the back of the head, just after the crest. That's probably where the biggest change is on Metriacanthosaurus. However, the dinosaur, I will overall say, looks better now, and it should have the issue of its broken texture fixed as well, which it's had for ages. However, now let's move on to the defense. Once again, it hasn't changed too much, so to say, and that's pretty much that with the defense. One of the things I do want to point out with the balanced one is that the dewlap has been moved forward a little bit before it was pushed back, and another thing is the pose. The neck itself was arched a bit more upwards in the old pose for the dinosaur. Now it's a bit more forwards, and that's probably solved the issues with the dewlap being cut into the neck and stuff like that. And then you've got the speed one as well, obviously no dewlap, and I would say the biggest change is probably the face is a little bit longer here. I don't really know if there are any major changes with the actual subspecies of Metriacanthosaurus, because the devs didn't mention that in the changelog. However, let's really quickly showcase some of the animations for this dinosaur. So yeah, the dinosaur overall now feels a lot more fluid in my eyes, especially when it runs. The dewlap as well just moves a lot more as well. It's nice to see. It's kind of got like a little ragdoll on it where it's just abiding by the laws of physics in the game, and that makes it very fluid and very nice overall. So I want to showcase the calls as well, because maybe the calls have had some tweaks and changes with their animations as well. But I do say, the new Metriacanthosaurus looks really nice now. I do believe, and I have heard, that apparently the next dinosaur to face a change like this is Concavenator, which will be quite interesting to see, because I want to see what they do with Concavenator, how major the changes are. Now, Metri, I think, is an interesting one, because, well, with an open mouth now, it looks a lot more scary in a sense. I quite like that a ton. I don't know, something about it. It looks different, and I can't quite put my head on it, or my finger on it. I can't like just like that. I can't do that. But that being said, that is the Metriacanthosaurus changes. The biggest changes for the dinosaurs so far is for the Ceratosaurus ones, and I'm going to showcase that in the next clip. So let's get right into Ceratosaurus. Now I think the biggest dinosaur that I really want to showcase is Ceratosaurus. This is definitely one of my favorite dinosaurs in the game. I really like Ceratosaurus's model overall and the skins on it. I like Styracosaurus. I like Eotriceratops because I'm a noob and it's easier for me to kill people as an Eotriceratops. But as far as carnivores go, Ceratosaurus is definitely one of my favorite ones, and I'm very happy to see the changes that it has. There were some changes which were showcased by a user called Jynn, a YouTuber called Jynn. Big shout out to Jynn. Go check her channel out, go subscribe to her, get her to her next big goal. But of course, this is a nice update to Ceratosaurus. It's a mesh, texture, animation, and all of its subspecies have changed a lot. The biggest change, I would say, is definitely in the eyes overall, but with the standard subspecies, its face is a lot more, what's the word? The face is a lot more, it's a bit more bulgy, it feels a bit more real, and they've actually moved how the upper lip, or the lip itself, goes down. If I really quickly get my mouse out to show you guys this, essentially the upper lip, or the lip itself, the crease, goes along here, whereas before it would go up, which will be more like a smile, but it doesn't do that anymore. And yeah, it kind of just flatlines straight away instead of like going like that, which is really nice. Now, another thing that I want to point out is the back of the head is a bit more prominent. The neck, so to say, this bit here is a bit larger, and overall the spikes, I believe, have been fixed as well. There used to be a floating spike issue with Ceratosaurus, which has been fixed now. Moving on to the speed version, the biggest change here with the speed version is the snout has gotten smaller in terms of width or height or whatever you say. From this tip here to there, it's thinner. The biggest change is the crests. The horn on the front is a bit more pointier on the speed version, and then the horns here on the eyebrow are a lot less prominent and not quite there. It's now a lot easier to like pretty much sum up the species and compare them from one another. And yeah, another big change is the spines along the back have gotten bigger on the speed version, and this neck part here, the back of the head where it connects to the main neck, this is bigger as well, quite a bit bigger, so to say. The pose of the dinosaur is slightly different as well. Its head used to go a little bit more up, and now its head is more gradient in a sense. But yeah, that's Ceratosaurus. You could say there's definitely a face change there. It looks a lot more like a dragon with the speed subspecies. It's really cool. I really like it. So, next, we've got defense. With defense, you've got no front horn, like it's literally gone. However, the crests above the eyebrows are even bigger. Pretty sure they're on par, similar size to the base version. An additional note is that overall, the dinosaur is just a lot thicker if you were to compare it to the other subspecies, mainly balanced. And if you were to compare it front on like this and just have a quick look, you can see where the big changes happen. This part of the neck right at the back, it gets a lot bigger. The spikes, they get bigger, and overall the bulk on the body as well gets bigger. The face, it kind of puffs out from the cheeks and gets a bit bigger there, kind of like it's got some kind of overbite or underbite. Basically, that part of the lower jaw has gotten thicker as well. In regards to Ceratosaurus, it looks a lot better overall, and it's definitely my favorite change out of the bunch of dinosaurs that have gotten changes. Now, the animations as well, still very fluid, very nice overall, very nice to see in my eyes. I do very much agree. And now let's just showcase the calls really quickly, see if there's any changes. And I don't think there's many changes here on this one, on the calls, but there are some animation changes, of course. Now, maybe these have been changed, but changed very slightly, but we can't really tell. Now, it's nice to see that the dinosaurs are getting model changes and updates to make them more accurate. The Ceratosaurus is a lot more accurate, especially its balanced subspecies now, which is great to see. And I also like the variation when it comes to the horns, or the crests, so to say. It's a lot nicer that they have these variations. You can easily identify them from another now. And if I just really quickly go into NVIDIA Ansel, this was like right when I was about to blink, but you can see the texture on the dinosaur as well is a lot better, especially in some areas where you can see like the scales a lot clearer, some areas where it's a little bit less evident. But overall, these updates are very nice on Ceratosaurus and Metriacanthosaurus, and we have some other updates coming to the game soon. Let me know your thoughts about these ones in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. But other than that, that is that for those dinosaurs. Of course, there we have it. Let me know your thoughts about this stuff in the comments down below. I know this is a weird update, and I do apologize if there's any issues in the recording and stuff like that. Basically, what's happened is I have completely reinstalled Windows, and I have to start from scratch again. So this video might take a lot longer to make, because I have to reinstall everything in Premiere as well, and I'm not sure if I've 100% nailed down my Streamlabs settings either. So, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. And yeah, if you are new, feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.